Hi, so I'm Sharon. I work at Confused.com, and I run the content team, the social media team, and the PR as well. So I'm going to talk to you today about how we've used Twitter at the brand and talk you through the evolution of where we started with organic Twitter account and then when we started to do paid activity as well. So a few months ago, last year, I was thrown a challenge by the CEO. We launched our first app. Probably wasn't the easiest app to launch with. It was called Motormate. It was an app that you put in your car and it would monitor your driving performance. That's quite good if you're into gaming and you want to see how good a driver you are. But there is also some negative connotations, and some people think, what is this? It's Big Brother. People who want to monitor my driving, what are they going to do with the data? So the challenge was really to get downloads and to, I guess, get over that barrier, but also to get those downloads at quite a cheap price as well. So I got in touch with Twitter to see how we can use promoted tweets to help us achieve the objectives of getting downloads at a reasonable cost. So we did a bit of test and learn. We had a few different tweets. We targeted different interests, so gaming, making the assumption that people who are competitive, like online gaming, would like to try the app. We also targeted driving handles such as Jeremy Clarkson and Top Gear as well. So these are some examples of the tweets that we did. The first tweet had an engagement rate of 3%. If you look at the copy, reckon you're a good driver, prove it with our free Motormate app for iOS, download here for free. So repetition of free, so people would be like, free, let's download it. The next tweet, we tested a bit more, and we had a 4% engagement rate on this tweet, just by changing it a little bit. So prove how good a driver you are and get rewarded with our free Motormate app. So the temptation of some rewards, if you drove 250 miles with the app, you get some cash back. So that proved to work a little bit better for us, and we have the engagement rate of 4%. So how did it do for us? How did our first test of promoted tweets work for the brand? We did drive downloads of the app, which is a big plus. They costed in at about 75 pence per download acquisition. This was more than 6 times cheaper than what we were paying for our traditional PPC for the same campaign. We had a strong engagement rate of over 4%. And we also had the additional benefit that we had more than 1,000 new followers after we ran the Motormate test. I guess the best bit about it was that we had a 3-month plan to get X amount of downloads, and we hit those downloads within 2 weeks. So I had a very happy CEO, but then a more demanding one who wanted more and more. So I then began to think, what else can I do with the platform? At Confused.com, we have quite a strong editorial content strategy, and that's been in place for about 3 years now. So we do all types of content, so infographics, video, transactional type content that will help people in their purchase to get in a car insurance quote, and all other kind of news as well. So I thought, how can I leverage my content strategy a bit more? I didn't want to be so dependent on email anymore because I felt I needed to diversify where my traffic was coming from. So I looked at the platform to see how I could get more traffic to the content, which in turn could affect the bottom line positively. The more people engage with the content, the more that they hopefully will then get a car insurance quote. Either then or further down the line, they would remember the brand because they had made an engagement or a connection with us through the Twitter platform and through our content. To talk about example of some of the content that we have used on Twitter, this video picture here of a bunch of bananas might look a bit odd, but we ran a video campaign about confusing situations. So the brand name, Confused.com, we played in that a little bit, and we tweeted our followers and asked them what their biggest confusions were. So we had a few random ones. Some people said they were confused about why yawns were contagious. Other people said they were confused about why they had belly button fluff. And then we had a bit of a more random one. Some people were confused about... No, they weren't confused. They just said, is it possible to overdose on bananas? So we thought, okay, we'll try and attempt to clear up some of these weird and wonderful confusions. And we did a video campaign and set about answering these confusions. So we hired a crazy mad scientist who delivered the answers in the form of a personalized video to those people who had tweeted us with their confusions. This is just an example of, I guess, trying to feed the hunger for content on Twitter. Other examples of campaigns that we've done via Twitter are things like we pushed out infographics, and one of our infographics has had more than 22,000 shares. And we're now finding that our Twitter followers are beginning to share content more and more for us. So there was an example a few weeks ago where a random person said, how do I find out a bit more about telematics to get my son cheaper car insurance? Someone else, no idea who they were, then said, oh, here's a really good guide to telematics, and linked to our site, and then shared that on Twitter. So that was a great example of people doing the hard work for us, so using the Twitter platform and content, because they go very well, they work very well hand in hand. So what this has delivered for me and the business is it's delivered a lot of fresh traffic. We're getting new potential customers, and if they aren't customers today, because they've made the connection with their content, then hopefully they will be customers somewhere along the line down the funnel. We've also reduced the reliance on emails. So 2 years ago, my main source of traffic came from our newsletter, which we send to our database every couple of weeks. Now that's beginning to, the reliance is reduced, and I'm getting a lot more traffic from referral sources such as Twitter and other social channels. So throughout the whole process, I've also been testing promoted accounts. And this has had the effect that when we first started to work with Twitter doing our paid advertising, we had organic followers of about 3,000. By February, we had nearly 9,000. And today, we have over 34,000. So that's great, and it's really ticking the box of the more followers I have, the more eyeballs I can get on my content. I'm satisfying a need for, or hunger for content on the platform, and I can bring these people back to Confused, who will then hopefully, I guess, deliver commercial benefits for the business. But I'm a little bit greedy, and I thought I want a bit more than that. So hopefully you're aware of our TV adverts. We're one of the really annoying ones who have the crazy hair and rather big boobs, a cartoon character. Now she's gone, and this month we launched a new TV advert with a robot. So I'm not sure if you have seen him, but he's called Brian. And if you haven't, then go and seek him out on Twitter. He might have a personal message for you if you tweet him. So I work with Above the Line to say, we should really be connecting our TV spend with our below the line spend as well. We're spending the money on TV anyway, so why don't we just try and get a bit more from it? Because if I can take those potential customers from TV, because they might not be in the market right now for car insurance, if I can get them to make a connection with me on Twitter, I kind of have them, hopefully. Because once they've made that connection, it's personal. So we had our first hashtag, Brian the Robot, and that went live on the 1st of June. One of the TV ad went live also in the spot of Britain's Got Talent. So we hijacked that hashtag and we also got people tweeting us on hashtag Brian the Robot, people tweeting us at his handle. And we tried to make it a bit personal. So if you tweeted Brian something, and we had all kinds of tweets, you can imagine. So we had someone who might have said, oh, hi, Brian, you're really cute. So we had the robot there with us, and Brian would send a video back saying something, no, you're cute. So that kind of thing. And then people, start to like him. Now, of course, you get the haters as well. And we had the odd couple of people saying, are you just a shit meerkat? So what are you going to say to that? But Brian had an answer, and he showed a video. He gave a personalized video, basically with a really, really sad face, and went, oh. And this managed to turn around the hater, who went, oh, well, good luck then. So that's how we used the platform on the night when we launched our new brand icon. Now, just in the last few weeks, because it hasn't been 3 weeks since we launched TV ads, we've been playing around a little bit more with the platform. And we managed to jump on a Macklemore trend, just photoshopped little Brian in there. And this has had an engagement rate of 15%, which I am told by Twitter is unheard of. So that's quite exciting. And it just shows you what jumping on trends can actually do. So I'd just like to leave you with a little message from Brian. So you get to meet him now. And this is something we put together for people who follow him on Twitter. So as I said, some people might get a personalized video if they engage with him.
Hello. I'm Brian, the fastest insurance comparison robot in the world. Thanks for following me on my mission to save you pounds. I hope you will find my tweets interesting and feel free to retwitter anything to your friends. Enjoy!
So that's Brian. That's some of the things we've been doing with Twitter over the last few months. I hope you can see that there's lots of things you can do and apply to the brands that you work with as well. Thank you very much.